All right, good morning, everyone. It's just me and Cam presenting today, I think. I'll kick it off with just a walkthrough of the new portal. Yeah, we wanted to give an update on the great progress the team's been having on the portal rewrite. The big team, and it often feels like this at the moment. So we're refactoring, changing collections of components, refining implementation of things. Yeah, you get to do this. So excuse any alignment issues and bugs you see this morning. We've got some amazing designs from Jess. We're working towards those. But the first few passes have been on building the areas of the app just to get them operational and to get enough reusable components so we can port more of the screens over. And we just started to polish the ones that are more operationally complete now. Just quickly, it's been good to see interest from the community around this. So we had a lot of comments on the variable refactor post, and we're getting some sort of interest on Twitter when we're sharing new screen designs. One customer did notice, or several noticed, that the UI, what it looks like, it looks a lot like the sort of the Google Cloud management portal. That's because we're using the material design. And the reason behind that is really that, create hierarchy, meaning, and focus. Yeah, so what we're aiming for in the new UI is clean and consistent and easy to use and more discoverable. All right, so let's jump into the new app. Some of these tabs. All righty, so we're not redesigning every screen. Some are pretty much one-to-one ports with sort of just a refresh. Let's jump back to the dashboard. So dashboard's one example. So there's an open issue where people would like more functionality there, but for the time being, it's just sort of straight list as it was in the old portal. All right, let me just turn throttling on so we can see what our loading experience is like when we're on a slower connection. All right, so as we step in, you'll see we've got these loading bars across the top. We're trying to get this more consistent now, but this is the experience users will have as a page comes in and loads its data. And there we go, so if we load the process page, we'll see it again. The process one is an example of it cleaner. It lists the title, lists the progress bar spins, so streaks along like that, and then we load. Let me turn that off, otherwise we'll have quite a slow walkthrough. Okay, so we're in our project. Let's jump back to the overview. Yep, this is what our sort of the menu, the filtering menus look like, grouping by channel. And the concepts we have are sort of lists like we did, and tiles or cards as we see on the project listing. Yep. All right, so let's jump into the experience of creating something new. So we go add project and we go, yep, another test. Hit save. So that's the modal experience. The little modals, it blinked away quick, but it's got their little progress bars as well. The experience will be when you come in here, it will be all expanded like that. You won't have to click that expand all on a brand new sort of form. It jumps you into the settings page, and now you're setting up a new project where you get to fill in all your details, the description, and so on. And it's up to you if you want to close these off as you go. And then the next thing I wanted to highlight here was we've got this floating save bar. So this was lacking in consistency, bothering lots of customers in the old portal, where on different screens, save would be in different locations. So now it'll always be up the top and it will float like this. So as you get deeper into a long form, you'll still be able to just save from wherever you are. And we're standardizing on these overflow menus as well, which are, it's not visible on any of these rows, but it's visible on here, just to group the other sort of secondary actions that you can achieve there. Yep, cool. So that's the add one. Let's just move away without saving that. And we'll see, hopefully, the modal. Yep. Unsaved changes. Cancel, discard. Discard, yes, I want to move on. Jump back to an existing project. So on the process screen, here's just the simple list. Here is that, that sort of hovering panel again, in this case for the add step action. Oops. This one's in progress still. And the reorder steps like that. Modals, still this one's quite similar to how it was in the previous app, previous portal. The other main concept is the sort of the central panel there, and then the sidebar with the extra sort of summary information or extra sort of actions you can do there. And here is the overflow menus on each of the steps. Just in contrast for a slightly more complex process, and also to show off the these chips. So the chips are these tag-like things with icons. So these, at the moment, we're introducing icons and colors for different tags, just so you can get a better sort of idea of, at a glance, a view of what, of what's at play in this case for how this step will be scoped. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to show there. Cool. All right, so let's jump to a settings page. So the settings will be, so this is what the collapse by default experience is like. So you come into settings, it's quite a large form. All the sections are collapsed and they've got a good summary of what it is, especially with this default. So in this case, a package redeployment, all packages will always be installed and it's the default option. So it's has not been changed. So as soon as we change that, and we toggle it away, if that was the case, we would see that summary and that it has been changed away from the default. Great. All right, let's jump quickly into variables. So variables is still a work in progress. Let me jump into a better setup variables. 1 second. Okay, so what we're trying to do on the variable editor is an example of something where a set of functionality we're trying to enhance and improve the experience. There's been a lot of feedback and a lot of sort of pain and frustration around the current variable editor. One of the main focuses has been around the tabbing experience. So if we go password, tab, just show something not sensitive, some value, some variable, tab, define scope, staging, database, tab away, add another value. We've got a concept of grouping, some variable. Here's another value for it, but for a different scope. This is for production. And same database. Yep, add another one. Here we are, tab, something else. Define scope, staging. Oops, sorry, let's change prod 2. And then we go add it. And there we go, it's at the top of the variable editor. It's indicated that it's new. You can change your mind, get rid of it. You can hit save. As soon as you hit save, it'll enter one of these. It'll move into its right position. Somewhere, there it was, some variable. And we've got these new warnings where on this sort of this group concept where it's got missing environments. So we've got three of these. They're scoped to staging prod and prod 1, but we have more environments than this. So it's just a warning to tell you, hey, you may want to consider scoping this to your other environments, test and prod 2. So this brings up the filtering. So trying to make the filtering more discoverable and a bit better to use. So we can filter on those missing environments. There we are. Or we can filter on the ones that have a missing value. This is another thing of concern. There's a few more here. There's the non-printable characters. If it's missing a name somehow, we deleted its name after saving it. And then we've got all these other filtering options there. Great, that's that. that's all I want to show on the variable editor for now. All right, jump into triggers. This is the add trigger experience. This one demonstrates the call outs that we've got in the app now. So the blue and the green, troubleshooting, linking you to the documentation. And again, there, expand and save these. Type this, collapse all, move away, should get a warning. Yeah, cool. Let's quickly jump into channels. Channel experience, similar, just a list. Client-side filtering, add a channel, same, just a form. Cool. Alrighty. Settings, yeah, and settings we did. All right. So, environments. Environments where there's still a sort of a summary dashboard design in progress. Yeah, there's some input happening on that at the moment. But if you jump into environments and you jump into the specific sections, at the moment, if you go straight to environments, there's no dashboard yet. Yeah, machine policies look like this now. Highlight, same search, trying to have filter everywhere. There's another large form. Go back, proxies, similar, add a proxy, accounts. Yep, nice icons here, add account, large form again, go back. You see the chips there, SSH pairs, same thing, just forms. All right, so that's machine policies, proxies, and that. Let's jump to tenants now. Yep. Yeah, tenants is an example of the filtering, where you got filtering by a pop-up modal. There's a tenant, Bob, filtering on. How do we do the filter here? Come in, clear that. Jump into a tenant, weekly. Sorry, monthly's a better one. Jump into monthly. Yeah, warnings look like this in the new world. Get your attention, explain why. You'll not be able to deploy to another test until this one's just not connected to any projects or environments on those projects. Connect to another project, modal, pick it, enable action. Yep, cancel. I think the variables, no, and oops, sorry. Cool. Tenants. All right. The next thing I wanted to jump to was library. So the library, we've got the repository working. Upload modals are like this. Choose your file. Let's pick this. Place it exists. Hit save. Get your progress there for the upload. Sort of this example of a collapsible section to give you more information, sort of inbuilt Docker. And on this one, we've got the load more action at the bottom. As you scroll down, if you haven't done what you're after, hit load more. Go back up to the top. This one still has filtering. So if I hit ID, there's the one I just uploaded it. Loaded. All right. So let's go to sort of feeds. Straightforward. Add feed, another form set up there. Life cycles was the listing of the life cycles. There's sort of the icons on those. If we go and edit an existing one, the experience is like that. If we go back and add a new one, it just takes you to a brand new form. Add a phase, looks like this. And you pick your environment, pick your environment. Automatically, okay. Phase again, so on. Life cycles, cool. All right. Script modules is operational as well. Again, that kind of filtering. Add a script module form with the little text editor there for PowerShell modules. Code. That's cool. Let's jump to next one, which is tenant tag sets. Same filtering, add a tag set, expand these out, pick your color, fantastic color picker in there. And variable sets, I think. No, not variable sets yet, but certificates. Certificates is looking great as well. Add a certificate, upload your file, tag it, refilter it. You can do your design preview if you set these up. Very design preview. Matching two tenants, only show matching. Yeah, save that. And certificates, back up there. Step into an existing one. Expand all. Oh, that didn't work. And last section I wanted to cover, and sort of, yeah, we've got this more menu now to hide, to only show you the sort of the most, sort of what we deem the most used sections. The rest of it will be in this overflow in the more. So let's jump in, example is configuration there. Audit is an example of something that's got a lot of data as well. You've got the add filtering via the modal. As you pick these, it sort of puts those extra tags that are relevant to capture that type of filter. Hit save. Filtering is on. We've got that cut down. Got our really nice date picker as well. Narrow down the date range. Hit save. There you go. Nothing found there. Clear that or the create subscription on that. Actually, so I'll put that in the future. So that's why we're not finding anything. Yep, the loading experience there for a larger set. And let me just jump back to this so we can show you the paging at the bottom of this. So we've got, and the paging will kick in with the filtering as well if your filter happens to have enough data that it still warrants paging. This was a case where this paging tool was the most useful for this large set of data. All right, so that's audit. Let's go to backup. Pretty straightforward. Again, one of these sort of warning callouts. Diagnostics. Yep, just there. The screen is still in progress. Yeah, that's it. So there's a lot of progress has been made. There's still a lot more to go. Yeah. If you'd like to have a look at this, jump onto the front-end refactor permanent Octopus instance. We've got a Trello board. And I think we'll put a link in the video to let the public access this one as well, so we can get some wider feedback around this. Any quick questions? Otherwise, join us on the front-end refactor channel to have a more extended discussion.
How well does it work with, well, how much has mobile design been taken into account?
So most of the designs we've been going towards are responsive. So you just try and resize that window. And so obviously our primary focus is making sure it works first and foremost on the desktop, because that's what we're debbing and that's what my people work with. But most of the designs have been built to be sort of more responsive. So it's sort of the setup you've got there on the previous screen, at least where the cards kind of all you know, go together like that. And so even the header there, so you get that main header bar with the add group and add project button sort of sits at the top without the additional other header. So yeah, long story short, yes, it's been taken into account in the designs. Whether or not every screen is fully, 100% perfectly functioning with it is another matter, but it is sort of part of the idea. Yeah.
What's left? So quite a lot, yeah. So I only went to the parts that are working. Yes, there happens to be a lot in Octopus. Yes, so yeah. Great, all right, I'll hand it over to Cam then.